once again, Anime Death Spiral, the only anime podcast that has been running continuously in the UK since 1964. I am Nate. Once again, I think I'm here with the voice at the other end of the box that calls himself Remy. I've never actually met this person like in a physical sense.
And all the better for it.
Yeah, all the better for it. Honestly, I would only be disappointed by whatever your actual physical mortal shell looks like.
Yes, and you should take that to heart, listener. Like, you never want to meet the people behind the mic.
Yeah.
It's never good.
No, it's never good.
And especially if you're older and you grew up with the version of the podcast that was hosted by Peter Cook and Dudley Moore.
People call it the golden age of Anime Death Spiral.
Yeah, I don't want to be self-effacing, but... nobody stands up to the classics. That's why we're trying to do our own thing.
You know, originally when we pitched the show to the network, we wanted it to be a spin-off so that it, kind of had room to stand on its own legs. But no, they thought it was more marketable under the Anime Death Spiral title to keep it aligned with that existing audience base.
Yeah, and also the concept of just focusing on British anime turned out to be like a little shallow. There wasn't enough to really make a whole show around.
Yeah, it turns out it was just that one British dub of Urusei Yatsura.
yeah, that was it pretty much. The island isn't sending their best. What can I say?
We've made it clear our feelings on the British on this show.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know what? I've got burning a hole in my pocket?
Oh, no. What is it?
I've got this fat wad of 7 $100 bills in my pocket.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, yes. No, that's great.
Wait, what'd you think I was talking about?
No. The $100 bills. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you have money now.
Now,
I'm surprised you haven't spent it yet.
Well, I was looking around. I was looking around for stuff to spend it on. Do you have any idea or any suggestions on new, interesting products related to my interests that I could spend $700 on?
How interested are you in Blu-ray playback capability?
Oh, I am intensely interested.
Oh, then no, I have nothing for you. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, I can't think of a single thing.
Man, it is really disappointing hearing about the PS5 Pro price.
Yes.
Obviously, that's what we're talking about, folks. We were doing a little gag, a little goof 'em up, a little joke here and there. We're known for that. We do that sometimes on the show.
Yeah, I'm still laughing.
Well, it's all about making yourself laugh. That's my philosophy.
It's the only person that matters.
Audience of one, and it's me, and I always kill. Sony announced as of today, as of prior to the recording of this podcast by literal minutes, that the PS5 Pro is coming out November 7th at a starting price of $700, $699.99 before tax in the US, with no physical disc drive and no stand for a console that, from all appearances, does not appear to be able to be like functional or placed anywhere without a stand.
Geometrically, it is nonsensical.
It's like one of those, it's like one of those weird plastic curved boards, from like the 90s. There was like a home exercise thing where you're supposed to like put it on the ground and you like balance on it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, balance board.
Yeah, balance board.
Yeah, I had one for my Wii.
It's taking its design philosophy straight from those things.
That's the one that really hurts. I mean, obviously Sony was going like, okay, we own Crunchyroll now, so they don't need a Blu-ray player. They're just going to stream.
Sony effectively owns anime. They own all anime.
Yeah, they own anime, and they know that people stream anime. People don't buy anime. They stream it now. Mm-hmm. Just like Netflix and, let's say, others no longer release physical versions of their own properties, their own shows.
Well,
they just assume you either stream it or you don't. Same thing with anime.
I think we have Steam, obviously, to blame for the digital licensing model versus ownership, right? Your Steam games, your Amazon library, whatever, your Spotify library. You don't own that shit. You're just licensing it from
Here he goes.
from a provider.
He's going into the rant. He's going to do an epic rant about property ownership. Here it comes.
I wish I had an epic 25-minute rant to really, pad out this show's runtime, because damn, are we desperate for content.
As one of the last people who still buys Blu-rays, you are kind of like a doomsday prepper.
I do see it that way.
Of nerd media consumption. That's
okay.
basically
You say that like you aren't data hoarding on several hard drives and servers.
Yeah, I do have 4 drives.
Your house looks like a crime scene investigation where they find a whole bunch of unsavory stuff. It's just drives and old computers stacked in kind of like a cyberpunk dystopian fashion. There's wires hanging down from the ceiling.
I try to keep up the aesthetic, If the FBI raided my house, it would take them years to find any actionable content. That's all I'm saying. Just for the sheer amount, the volume that they would have to search through.
You live inside a Faraday cage, and you have a dead man switch set up so that if you ever get taken outside of a certain vicinity, the nanomachines inside your blood cause an untraceable heart attack so that you can't talk.
That's so sick. I am the kind of person who I don't even have anything bad. I think I'm the kind of person who I downloaded the Anarchist Cookbook as a kid and that scared me to have on a drive, so I don't really have anything, but just for the aesthetic, I would love to have a little EM pulse device hooked up to my fucking computer. So at any time, if something happened, I could just fucking annihilate it. Just to say I have it.
That's so sketchy, though. That's like saying, I bought a burner phone just to say that I have it. You realize who buys burner phones and why they're buying them.
Well, now that weed is legal, I feel like burner phones, the burner phone economy has tanked.
Yeah, it's true. Thousands of people lost their jobs.
Yeah, just bottomed out. So many gas stations just with unsellable stock.
Listen, you're saying weed is the only drug people would need a burner phone to sell. Come on, think outside the box. I know that you're smarter than that.
Wait, do you know? You know a guy?
Well, it depends on what you're looking for. I may know a guy.
You know a guy?
But let's talk about that off the air. Anyway, I don't know. Anything else?
Consoles. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, consoles. Sony, man, they suck, don't they?
They sure suck. Yeah.
$700 for a console with no disc drive, no stand, and no Bloodborne 2 to go with it. So, yeah. Pretty much that was the biggest disappointment, because I was actually looking forward to that. I kind of wanted to pick up a PS5 Pro to play that Snake Eater remake that's coming out that we've been
I thought you were going to say Honkai Star Rail.
No, or
Zenless Zone Zero, right? That you're really looking forward to.
No, I played those games on my alternate PC that is set up to kill itself should it ever be taken off property.
In case anyone figures out my password.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really been a double whammy, because Sony also announced that Tom Holland is going to be Spider-Man again for a 4th movie.
Oh,
and
no.
Wait,
a Sony Spider-Man, not Disney Spider-Man movie?
I'm not sure what the deal is, but Tom Holland is the Disney Spider-Man.
He's the Disney Spider-Man, but I don't know. I thought that didn't he go into another dimension at the end of that last one where he was with Tobe and the other one, Garf, Tobe and Garf.
Yeah, there was a huge dangling thread where I think the idea was that he's in a dimension where nobody knows he's Spider-Man again. It's been a long time since I saw that movie. And he thought that was going to be good, but it turns out, no, that's bad. That sucks. It sucks and it's bad.
People not knowing that you're Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if I was a superhero, I would 100% do it for the fame. I would be one of those superheroes that doesn't really wear a mask or have an alternate identity.
You're Denji. You're saying you're Denji.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You're doing it for the chicks.
I would do it to get laid and to get free stuff.
The thing was, Tom was already getting laid. His Mary Jane was on board before she knew he was Spider-Man, you know?
Was she? I don't know. It's been a while since I saw those movies. I didn't particularly like them.
Zendaya was like Zendaya was already into Tommy at the beginning of the franchise. So he didn't really need to like expose himself publicly.
I suppose so, yeah. But I mean, I think people tend to forget that Peter Parker, at least in some of the comics, can be a little bit egotistical, and sometimes he does let it go to his head, and he does stuff for the fame, right?
Oh, sure. Like when he wrestled that guy.
The whole black suit Spider-Man saga was him coming to terms with that side of himself because the symbiote suit was bringing out his worst qualities.
Yeah.
It was enhancing his bad qualities, but they were still his.
Yeah, speaking of the PS5, you know, that's the plot of the most recent Spider-Man 2 game is
Venom.
He gets the Venom suit, which is fun. Turns you into sort of like a Tetsuo meat machine. Lots of fun stuff you can do with that.
Yeah.
Just absolutely annihilating freaks with your disgusting goop body.
Yeah, it's cool shit.
Had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
Do you remember...
Are you going to say Ultimate Spider-Man for the PS2?
No.
Because you get to play as Venom in that one and do the same thing. That one was kind of like a mashup of GTA and Hulk Ultimate Destruction, where you got to play as Venom, and instead of web swinging around the city, you had like massive Hulk jumps that you used to get around. And Venom's mechanic was that he had like the tentacle powers, right? But his health was always draining. So periodically you had to go down to street level and like eat people to regain health.
Sure. Very cool.
It was dope.
Very exciting.
It was very cool.
I was not going to say that. I was going to say...
because that was a really cool
Prototype.
Game. Oh, you know what? I wasn't going to say Prototype, but...
No, I was going to say it.
The last time I did play Prototype, I distinctly remember thinking, hey, this is like that Venom game for the PS2.
This is like a kind of a Venom game.
Yeah.
And now that Spider-Man 2 has the Venom mechanics, I'm thinking
it's kind of like Prototype.
Hey, it's a little bit like Prototype. It's got kind of a weird Prototype thing going on.
I like Prototype. I liked that game. I wish that series had picked up for more than one sequel. I think it was kind of a cool thing doing the slow reveal that, you were the villain all along, right?
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, you are destroying the military-industrial complex from the inside.
I don't know about you, but I was also eating a lot of random people just like off the street.
It happens.
Like people going to get their mail, people going for a jog, people walking their dog, getting a hot dog, people walking their hot dog, eating a hot dog at the mail. All those people got eaten like hot dogs at the mail.
If you are an alien-human hybrid, you can't get around the fact that you're going to have to eat some folks.
Yeah.
What else
was he an alien hybrid? I thought that he was just like they essentially made Venom goop in a lab, and he was the scientist, and it killed him, but then it also turned into him.
Oh, he got Dr. Manhattan.
Well, that's different. That's a different case. Different thing. More like
that's a different one.
No, he got Annihilation.
He got Killer Croc'd.
He got Annihilationed. Remember Oscar Isaac from Annihilation? And at the end, Natalie Portman was like, hey, are you really my husband? And he's like, hey, does it matter? And she's like, I guess not. And then that's how the movie ends. It's kind of like that.
I don't think she said, I guess not. I feel like it actually mattered a lot. I feel like she was pretty disturbed by it. But, we all have our own... interpretations.
Hey, no, we can spend some time analyzing the end of Annihilation.
Look, I'm a Jeff Vandermeer fan. You know, I'm absolutely willing to dive into it, but we don't have the time. We have so much to get through today.
The time is not budgeted for it. I'll give you that. All right, okay.
You've got that. You know, the Sony thing happened. I've got a couple things that happened recently. I just wanted to toss off.
All right. No, you got some news. Oh, you got some news.
Well, not necessarily news. I mean, it's kind of old news at this point, but I thought this one's relevant to you because you had mentioned it a couple times, but now it's official.
Okay, here we go.
Hokkaido Gals has eaten shit.
Oh.
It is dead.
Yeah.
It is dead and gone officially.
Yep, it is over. The manga is done. I assume it's probably not getting picked up for a second season since they ended the anime pretty definitively. I mean, they could keep going, but then again, not a lot happens in that manga.
So, okay, you haven't finished the manga, though, right?
Oh, no, I have. I've been keeping up with the weekly updates.
Oh, so you're done. You've finished. You've read the last chapter.
No. When did the last chapter release? Because as of yesterday, it was not out. At least it was not translated.
Oh, that might have been my mistake. I saw the official announcement. I figured, oh, that must mean it's done.
Three chapters ago, they announced that it was going to be ending in 4 chapters. So there is still 1 chapter as of yet unreleased, and then that is going to be the final one.
We're on the knife's edge.
I don't know. It's doing that weird thing where the last chapter, 2-3 chapters, is compressing about 15 years of time into one segment, where it's
let me guess. He at the end of the semester or whatever, he has to fly off to do like a study abroad.
No. They do that whole arc very early on, and they play it for a joke, where it's actually she is, set up to go study abroad, and he does the big dramatic follow her to the airport to say, like, I love you, don't go moment.
Oh, they do that at the end of Twisters, by the way. Spoilers. That's how Twisters ends.
Dope.
Yeah.
Good to know. Love Glenn Powell. Love that guy. Scream Queens.
Yeah.
Great show. But they do that. That is the arc they end the anime on. But he goes to the airport, and then, the joke is just, she's like, oh, I'm only going to be gone for a week. I'm just taking like a week-long training course, and then I'm coming back. It is very funny. It's very funny when it happens.
The only reason I say that is because, of all the rom-coms I read, this is like one of the most annoying things that continues to happen over and over again. This is something that was a huge plot point in Kaguya-sama, right?
Sure.
Is we get to the big culmination of this like romantic arc, and the big culmination is they have to split up. They just like fuck off.
Yeah, they go their separate ways, and then we get a time skip where it says at some point in the future they get back together.
Yes, and Kaguya-sama, and the reason I say that is because this happens in so many rom-coms I've read. The other big one that really frustrated me was I was reading, man, it's been so long since I talked about this. I don't remember what it's called. Do you remember I talked about a series where it was a rom-com about a boy who had a skin condition, where anyone who made skin contact with him would blurt out their most deeply held secrets? Do you remember that?
It rings some bells, yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I really like that one. I like that one a lot. But it has that exact thing where it's like this whole time it's like these characters coming together and like learning how to like deal with, which is essentially kind of a nice story about like how, you've fallen in love with somebody who has a physical disability or something, right?
Sure.
And it's like, how do you like make that work in a relationship? It's, it's not that serious, but that is the undercurrent of the manga, and it's very sweet and funny. But the whole thing builds up as they like reach the point where a regular rom-com would be like, hey, I love you, let's be together. They reach that point, they're like, hey, we love each other, let's be together. Oh, also, I'm going to be flying to America for the next 4 years, and then when we come back, let's pick up where we left off. And so like the last 3 pages are like, hey, I'm an adult now, and I'm back from America. You want to like get married? And she's like, yeah. And that is not satisfying to me.
No,
at all.
It sucks. And that's not what Hokkaido Gals does, because Hokkaido Gals doesn't really have that like arc and building towards, a tension resolution, because after a certain point, nothing really like happens in it. The big like tension point, the driving force behind the characters, and I say this with such a grain of salt, again, considering we're talking about Hokkaido Gals are super adorable.
Yeah.
But the tension came from the main dude's mom being a prim and proper heiress type, and him him being afraid that she wouldn't accept his Gyaru girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
And then they resolve that. They resolve it. And that may have been a good time to end the story because nothing happens after that. It's just literally about them doing stuff, I guess. I don't know how to say it.
I seem to remember that. Didn't that happen in like the 3rd episode or something?
Yeah, it gets resolved real early on. And then it's like, all right, we're doing the school festival. And then they talk about what school festivals are like at Hokkaido schools. And then we're doing, she's going away to learn makeup arc. And then that ends on a joke where she's only going to be gone for 2 weeks. Anyway, it floundered. It really didn't have a plot. And so it's not surprising that it's ending. And what they decided to end it with is a series of flash forwards starting from when they all graduate high school to the two, the romantic leads moving in together, getting their first apartment, getting married. And then, the time skips start in like a matter of months and then years. And then finally we get the final time skip where it is their child who is now a Hokkaido gal. It is her high school graduation.
It's genetic?
It's genetic. Well, we already knew that because the female lead's mom was also a gal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was also a Gyaru. So it's a line of Gyarus.
An unbroken chain.
Yeah, going back centuries. But yes, and so the penultimate chapter ends with them now middle-aged preparing to send their Gyaru daughter off to future college, cyber college, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway, that's how it's ending. I don't know what they're gonna do in the final chapter. If they pulled like a Days of Our Lives and just had it all be like he wakes up from a daydream standing at the bus stop from the very first chapter, I would think that would be pretty funny.
It was all a dying child's dream.
Yeah, it was. It was all a stupid child's dream. I would find that just as satisfying as whatever they're doing right now. Again, I never proclaimed that this was a good quality comic. I never said that. I never said that.
Well, I am. I'm saying you did do that. But I won't ask you to review the whole thing until it's completely over and in the grave. So
thank God. I need the context of the final chapter to make a final say on it.
Well, yeah, what if it has an incredible ending? I mean, that could change everything.
A good ending really can uplift a series.
It can.
Yeah.
Now I want to say this is the other one in Twinner news.
Okay. All right.
After what seems to be about 200 years, Twin Star Exorcist is ending. It is done. It is done and buried.
Now, what's Twin Star Exorcist?
Wow. Damn, dude.
Sorry. I'm revealing my hand. I'm showing, as the kids say, my whole ass.
Okay. I mean, I don't blame you. It's not as big a shonen as some of these other ones.
It's no Jujutsu Kaisen, which is also ending, as we've talked about.
It's not. Well, I was gonna say its contemporaries are a little older than that. I mean, I'm looking at now, and Twin Star did start in 2013. I know a lot of people confuse this for Blue Exorcist. It is not Blue Exorcist. It is also not New Ways Exorcist. That just started. It's not ending yet. It's also not Onmyoji, which translates to Exorcist. What are the other Exorcist series? D. Grayman, I think he's an exorcist in that.
Yeah, I think he's. I don't know. Hellsing, they're kind of like exorcists.
Hellsings are sort of. Are vampire hunters? Are they exorcists? I feel like I don't actually. I think those are two different things.
Yeah, I think those are different things. Although I'm pretty sure if we looked into it, Van Helsing was probably trained in the arts of exorcism.
Depends on which
or at the very least ghost busting.
Yeah, definitely. I think he probably busted a couple ghosts. It depends on which version of the character. Make the exorcist fall in love. It's also not that. Did I ever talk about that one?
You have talked about that.
Yeah. I kind of like that one.
You like that one. Okay.
I kind of like that one. I feel like should have brought that up in the other episode, because I feel like that one's getting an anime for sure at some point.
Now
it's got that perfect mix of like light humor and horniness.
Okay. Now I'm looking at some stills and artwork of Twin Star Exorcist, and it seems to be of that genre of anime in the Code Geass style. I don't know what you call it. That like late to mid 2000s real big eye, like slender, kind of lithe character silhouette designs. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. It does have a bit of an old school look to it.
Oh God! Don't call 2007 old school.
It is. I'm sorry, dude. It's almost 20 years ago, dog. It's old.
Withering away.
It's old as hell. But this is a very long running series, and it's wrapping up. Well, it's not wrapping up. It's wrapped up. And I'd been reading it for a little while. I'm definitely not even halfway through. This is a flavor of shonen I sometimes struggle with. It gets bogged down very early on like very boring interpersonal fights between characters we're not really invested in.
Oh, I was just thinking that same thing about Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, this one also has the thing is this one has the concept, which is fun, which is that these two families of exorcists, they have this long running, I don't think it's a tradition. I think it's more of a prophecy kind of deal where their children are destined to like marry each other and have a super exorcist baby, that kind of thing.
Like a reverse Romeo and Juliet situation.
Yeah, basically. And they both start off as very different kinds of exorcists. He's more of a hot-headed, exercises from kind of instinct. He's not much of a books learning guy.
He's a ghost puncher.
He's a ghost puncher, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And she's definitely the bookworm. She is the teacher's pet.
Okay.
She does everything by the book, but she's trying to avenge her dead parents who are lost in the ghost dimension or something. I don't really remember.
They're always somewhere. The unknown dimension, the ghost dimension.
Yeah.
The other world, else world.
The afterlife.
The shadow realm.
The shadow realm. Banished to the shadow realm, yes.
Mm-hmm. The negative zone.
And I like that a lot. I don't necessarily like that it's like two 13-year-olds and a bunch of adults are like, you gotta fuck. I think that's pretty creepy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, arranged marriages are always pretty creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy as hell. But I find that idea of these two characters who are destined to be together, like fighting against it, and then watching the story kind of come around until they are both very invested in each other and they find that kind of naturally. I find that to be compelling.
Let me guess. She starts off very abrasive and combative to the idea and is very tsundere towards him until eventually, I don't know, they trauma bond through fighting ghosts and fall in love.
If you were going to go ahead and guess that they meet each other kind of by chance and end up being really annoying to each other and they don't really like each other, and then find out later during a big ceremony that they are in fact wedded together and they hate the idea, then yes, it is exactly that.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what I was envisioning. Yeah,
that's what.
Yeah,
happened.
no, okay, cool.
But what I do like is that a lot of manga runs for a very long time for no reason, essentially. And we've talked about this. As much as I like Jujutsu Kaisen, we have been running for a fairly long time. Not Twin Star Exorcist long.
Well, I mean,
but a fairly long time.
Let's not say no reason. We know the reason. It doesn't have an internally consistent reason to keep going, but the reason is because it's content that is meant to be sold and generate money.
It hurts. It hurts. Yes, there is no narrative reason, for it to be stretched out that long. And Jujutsu Kaisen, again, as much as I like it, has been running on fumes, basically, as many people have pointed out. And this ending is very, very welcome at this point, now that we've wrapped around to something.
Stop it. He's already dead.
But Twin Star Exorcist does something very interesting because it starts off interesting. Like I said, it becomes bogged down in like very boring shonen tropes. And then along the way, it becomes more ambitious. Something actually that D. Gray Man does as well, which I find is a comparable manga.
Okay, real quick. Is it The Gray Man? And you're saying it kind of like with a funky accent, like, hey, De Gray Man.
It's a slap in the bass. No, I'm not doing that. No, it is D. Gray Man. You've never read D. Gray Man?
No.
Damn, dude. There's a lot of Catholicism in that. Twin Star Exorcist does something with its very long run, which is that our characters age, and when we do eventually reach that point where they get together, like, they do have that kid, and we see what happens after that.
Yeah.
Which is good. It pays off on the idea that it introduced at the beginning, which is so much more than I could say about so many manga, even manga I like.
How many chapters did it make it to before the ending?
Oh boy. Well, over a decade.
Okay, according to this, that's not that many, honestly. It has 134 chapters spanning 35 volumes.
Huh, that's a lot less than I thought it would be.
Maybe they're long chapters for your average manga. I don't know what they average.
Anyway, it's an interesting thing that it's ending after a long period of time. This is yet another like very big shonen that is ending now. We're kind of in the weird period where they're all wrapping up, and Twin Star Exorcist is wrapping it up. And I just thought it was interesting because it has that maneuver where it evolves and progresses as the story goes on, which is unfortunately not typical in manga.
No. I think the standard for a lot of manga storytelling is to at least in shonen or stuff that is shooting, to get that, like, Dragon Ball, One Piece level, Bleach level of publication power behind it, and longevity. I think that everyone is striving to keep character dynamics as static as possible, so that as not to upset the balance of marketability for any one character.
The Stan molecule must be maintained. It must be stabilized and maintained. It's like we have 1,200 episodes of Detective Conan, case closed, and he's still like 10 years old.
Which I would have offed myself so long ago if I was in his situation.
I know, right? It's
like, have they addressed the fact, like, does time not flow in that world? Does it not matter? Or is he like cursed to always be a 10-year-old? Do his friends and family continue to age around him?
As far as I can tell, I'm not super deep in Case Closed. I've really only watched the movies. And it seems like it's a trapped in amber situation. Nobody's growing, nobody's changing.
Okay, so they're just doing a Simpsons, a Springfield.
Yes. Very Days of Our Lives, in that massive narrative events can happen, and then it turns out it doesn't change anything, and nothing is different.
It doesn't matter. Just something new is happening anyway.
Yeah.
Stop paying attention to that. We resolved that.
The last time in Conan that something actually had consequences was when that one other lady accidentally got turned into a kid too. Well, not accidentally. She, like, a bunch of bad guys did it, but
so there is a known repeatable method of turning people into children, and yet they don't have a way of reversing it.
No, it's one-way ticket.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
It's pretty fucked up. You shouldn't do that.
I mean, he would have been back to his regular self by this point if he just aged normally.
I know, right? Now, there is a misunderstanding because he does wear glasses, so I think a lot of people assume he's sort of a Dexter's Lab, not serial killer Dexter. People assume he's like a boy genius, but he's not a boy genius.
He's not a boy genius. He is a man in a boy's body.
He is a regular man who has read many detective novels, and that's why he's good at detectiving. But he is not like a genius.
And so he wasn't a detective?
No.
He wasn't a detective before he got turned into a boy.
No. Well, he was fucking around with it, and that's why he got turned into a boy, because he got a little over his head pretending to be like he was a big boy detective. Got clonked on the head, woke up in the bad guy's lair, turned into a kid. Literally case one. Then he moved in with his girlfriend, who thinks that he's a 10-year-old. And over the course of 1,200 episodes, he has never revealed to her his true identity. That's fucked up.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why didn't he reveal to her that he's trapped in a boy body?
Well, because then plot events would have to happen.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was
come
getting
on.
ahead of myself. Okay.
Think about it.
Hey, did you ever see that movie, Boy Detective? Came out a few years ago.
Boy Detective, that's the Donald Glover movie?
No. You're thinking of... I don't even know. What was his comedy troupe's name?
That was Adventure...
Derek's Comedy.
Yeah, Derek Comedy. I think.
Yeah.
What was that? The Adventure Team.
Yeah, Adventure Team. No, Kid Detective. The Kid Detective. That was the name of the movie. Adam Brody. Anyway, it's
Adam Brody is the Kid Detective. That dude's old as fuck.
well, that's the joke. It is a story about a kid detective who is now grown up and is a man.
Oh,
but
yes.
But everyone still like treats him like a kid detective, and they're like he's trying to be like an actual like real detective agency, and people are still hiring him to track down their cat and stuff.
Yes, and then he ends up in like a Chinatown situation.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes. That is a good concept. I wonder if they pulled it off. I didn't watch that.
Check it out sometime. I'd say check it out. Yeah.
Okay. All right. When I'm done with all this anime.
All right.
Because the last piece of news, since we do news now.
Sometimes,
I guess.
Sometimes we do a little newsy woozy.
A little newsies. This one's only really. This is not earth-shattering.
Yeah, a little Christian Bale and newsies.
Yeah. This one's just a little treat for me. Ishura season 2 got confirmed, so it just made me a little bit happy.
Nice. Good for you.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves a little treat sometimes.
Well, hey, look, I'm honestly racking my brain. I think that is the last time I was truly blindsided by an anime in the good way.
Yeah.
A lot of clunkers in the last couple years. You know what I mean?
You weren't blown away by Metallic Rouge? Come on.
God, I wish. That's the thing, right? Is we can sound like haters or whatever, but I wish all of these were good. Truly.
I truly wish that every piece of content that got created was good and engaging. It's all content now.
Don't call it that, please.
We're making content right now, baby. We're churning it out like a little meat grinder.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We're the little monkeys next to the fat Italian man named Mario dancing around.
I just wish, you say, hey, I watched the first episode of, Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. I was really surprised. It's got a lot going for it. There's so many interesting plot developments in the first episode, and the narrative is developing in a really interesting way.
That one's mostly about incest. It's mostly about the incest.
Yes, it just turns out to be mostly about incest.
Yeah, you think it'd even be about like what it's describing in the title about a guy falling in love with a girl who speaks Russian, but at least according to most of the discussion I see about it online, it's mostly about that guy's sister wanting to fuck him.
Incest is so hot right now. I mean, with Oshinoko blowing up and Alia getting an anime. And
did we even talk about Oshinoko getting a live action adaptation last time? Did we bring that up?
No, and I don't. It makes me nauseous to think
it's
about.
happening, people. Live action Oshinoko. It's coming to us.
It really, really makes me sad.
Yeah, it's bad.
I'm saying, like, I long for the days where something like, I don't know, pseudo harem could come out and be like, I don't know, like Golden Age TV style. Like, wow, there's like a lot going on here. There's a bunch of really interesting, thematic elements to it, and they're introducing some really interesting wrinkles into the concept of like a this like kind of fake relationship between these two students. But no, it's just what you think it is every time. Every fucking time.
I can't even believe you're throwing shade when we have juggernauts like my dear friend Nokotan on air right now.
I read some Nokotan and I was like, I don't hate this. And then the incest hits.
We keep getting tripped up on that one little stumbling block, right?
Yeah. The only thing keeping My Hero Academia from getting all up in that shit is because
it's over.
Deku doesn't have siblings.
Oh, well, I mean, that makes it... that does provide a little bit of a barrier to introducing the more problematic plot points surrounding siblings.
It does not exclude it, though, because Todoroki does have siblings.
Oh. See, as long as someone can have siblings, you can have incest in your story. It's a cheat code almost.
Yep. And just like we talked about before, Demon Slayer out here constantly playing on the knife's edge.
I thought Demon Slayer was over too.
No, Demon Slayer's not over.
It's still going?
We're moving into one of the final arcs now.
Oh, okay. All right.
But we've probably got like 4 or 5 movies and then a couple more seasons left to go. They're really milking the hell out of that thing.
Well, I thought the manga was over, though.
Oh, the manga's been over for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Very different things at this point.
Oh, okay. But what about Days with My Stepsister? They're very explicitly not related.
Yes, I suppose. At least they throw us a bone in that regard. If only the show was good, though. Like, that is also the missing element. We kind of need 2 things to clear the bar. No incest and be good.
Oh, damn.
That's all I ask.
You can only have one. Choose one.
I can't even only have one. They're almost all... Like, it's neither of them. All these shows are neither of them.
They're all full of incest and they suck.
They suck and they're full of incest. Sometimes it's because of the incest. Sometimes the incest is unrelated to how much they suck. And that's really weird.
You think that would be the main reason that it's like bad, but no. God, I cannot stress how much damage Game of Thrones did to pop culture as a whole.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the reputation of incest.
Well, that was part of it. That's part of it. Yeah, I'm just saying, look at the numbers. The rise of incest on search engines coincides with a little George Martin.
You've been keeping an eye on those numbers, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, the watchful eye. I gotta know at all times.
You got Google alerts?
Well, it was all part of my research.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's, as the new anime season comes up, we go, what are the incest numbers looking like?
I want to stress that we're real journalists and we put out hard-hitting stories about the state of anime discourse.
I don't have my degree.
We can share one.
Can I write my name on your degree next to yours?
I'll post it in.
A little plus sign.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am excited for Ishura. I like Ishura. I would like to. I probably not enough to read the light novels it's based on, but I am excited to watch more of the anime. I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, it would have to be pretty good to get you to read.
Read a light novel. I'm not like you. I do read books.
Okay,
I did
all
name
right.
check Jeff Vandermeer earlier, so come on,
Mr. Hoity-toity intellectual
Come
man.
on. I've been out there in the book streets. I've been in the library.
Well, you read books. I watch movies. That's what I do.
Yes, like Beetlejuice.
I don't. Can we not talk about that?
What, you don't want to talk about it?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't. It was bad, man. It was really bad.
Do you want to talk about Twisters?
Well, I do love me some Chad Radwell. I do.
Yeah.
I am heavily invested in the budding career of one Glenn Powell,
Sure.
who we all fell in love with as the unnamed tech bro who tells Bane that we don't have any money here in The Dark Knight Rises. I think that's a lot of people really find that particular role important and influential.
Absolutely iconic.
Yeah.
In The Dark Knight, it was Eric Roberts getting killed in the bank robbery sequence. In Rises, it was Glenn Powell throwing that line out and then disappearing forever. Well, let me give you a 30-second review of Twisters,
Okay.
and then we can move on to something more relevant to the theme of the show.
Sure. All right.
In Twisters, the Twister is a slasher villain. It does slasher villain stuff.
That's great, though. I think that is
Very
how
cool.
natural disaster movies should be approached, where
Yes.
they are equivalent to a Jason or a Michael Myers stalking you through the street.
Yes, and this is something we learned a long time ago via Jaws, obviously, is that you can basically turn anything into a slasher villain. And it took a long time to turn a tornado into a slasher villain, but we finally got there.
The science is there when we finally did it.
Yeah. Now, in the first 10 minutes, they do release balls into a tornado.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of name checking the first movie real early on. The only real gripe I have, I like that. I like balls in the tornado. That's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
The biggest gripe I have with the movie is that there's very little of the tornado slasher, and there is way too much Glenn Powell in an almost completely unrelated, goofy rom-com, almost Hallmark level rom-com, just kind of stapled onto the back of that thing.
Oh no, is he a blue collar tornado catcher?
Oh, yeah.
And he falls in love with the
The egghead PhD girl.
Yes, a career-driven PhD girl from the city
Yep.
who needs to find the true meaning of
absolutely.
Christmas.
Yes, that is 100% what happens.
Yes.
She's the one that shoots the balls up into the tornado, and then because Twisters has to be bigger than Twister, he drives his lifted Ford F-150 into the Twister and shoots fireworks into it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do they
I
set
know.
the Twister on fire at any point?
I think there is an electrical storm in the Twister, but I
Okay.
don't think it actually catches on fire. I could be wrong.
Electric tornadoes pretty scary. I'll give it that.
Yeah,
it's
no,
pretty
it's
scary.
cool. There's also one particular scene where the characters run out of a storm into a theater that is some kind of revival house because they are playing the original Frankenstein on the screen.
Okay. All right. Well, it's not unheard of.
In the scene where the storm is happening and the lightning is striking the rod to bring Frankenstein to life, and then the screen is ripped away by the tornado that comes into the theater, tracking down our main characters.
Now, why wouldn't they play the George Clooney classic A Perfect Storm and then have the scene where there's a water spout that damages the ship and have the roof fly off when that happens? That seems more appropriate.
That was probably in the first draft, but the rights issues, rights issues.
Or go fourth wall and have them play the first Twister on there. Do a Gremlins 2.
That would be great. This movie was not ambitious enough to do something like that, though. But I do love. Now it has perplexed me the whole time what the connection is to Frankenstein, other than the fact that there was a storm happening. I guess that was it. Maybe it's that shallow, but I really have been bothered by that. Since
Well, you see,
watched it.
the Twister is haunted by the pain of its own creation and the rejection of its father.
Now, if they had artificially created the tornado and it didn't know what its purpose in life was, so it decides to murder its creator, the Frankenstein thing would fit perfectly. But
If I cannot spin for good, I will spin for evil.
yes, but they didn't seed the tornado. It's a naturally occurring tornado, so that connection doesn't make any sense. And it's going to bother me for a long time. I can feel it. Anyway, so anime. Hoo boy.
Okay, hey, before we get into the anime, can I talk about something a little?
Sure, let's push the anime back even further.
Yeah, let's push it back even further. Fuck anime. Anime's trash. I hate
Anime's
anime.
stupid. Anime's dumb. Come on.
Last episode, we ended on a brief discussion on a little movie that we both watched called Gunhead.
Gunhead.
Yeah, which, what a treat. Again, go out, check out that movie. Real fun.
Yeah, it's great.
I had a great time watching it. But that was in relation kind of to this, and I've talked about it on several episodes now, this kind of Metal Gear Solid. I know. I gotta stop. I gotta get it out of my system. That's what I'm doing.
Brings it up all the time.
This is therapy for me. Do you understand that? And you are my unpaid, unwilling therapist. You and the audience.
This is his avoidant behavior right here.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's either that or talk to my real father. So, I've been playing the Metal Gear Solid games, and just having the creative works of Hideo Kojima on the mind, and trying to figure out what is the unified theory that goes into his creative process. And what I've settled on is a list of films that I've put together that I think this is the core of what Hideo Kojima makes stuff out of.
Absolutely. Yes. And you have been trying to figure out a way to get more lists onto the show.
It's true. People like lists. I don't know why you're against it. You're always talking about trying to up the listener count. This is what the people want, okay? People want lists.
I think I have some kind of phobia of sequences.
Well, okay, this is an unranked, unnumbered list. How about that?
Okay, thank you. That helps.
In no particular order, these are the movies that I think kind of collectively make up his catalog of creative decisions. And this is not just Metal Gear Solid. This is his entire gamography. Are we going with that?
Gamography?
Yeah, as the Wikipedia tab. Filmography, discography. I'm seeing gamography pop up.
It would be ludography.
Ludography?
Yeah, like Ludo, like his company Homo Ludens, because Ludo narrative. It's game narrative. It's
I get it.
Narrative.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing gamography.
That sucks. That fucking sucks.
I don't know.
That sucks.
It's something to think about. Anyway, can I read this list to you? Maybe you can add to it, or if you have any questions about why I included something, we could talk about that.
Lay it on me. Let's hear it. I'm very interested to compare it to my personal list.
Okay, all right. Well, it's good to know that you've been thinking about it as well. So yeah, compare it to your personal list, and maybe we'll have. I mean, we're definitely gonna have some stuff that matches up, but I think those are the easy shots. Okay, here we go. In no particular order. I mean, obvious, Escape from New York. That's the first one that comes to mind, I think, for anybody, right? That is the most face value.
Gotta be.
Surface value one. We've got Apocalypse Now, Doctor Strangelove.
Sure. Okay.
Gunhead, obviously. I put that on here.
Yeah.
The Rock, starring Nicolas Cage.
Oh, love that movie.
Let's see. Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, don't love that movie quite as much.
The Hunt for Red October.
Oh, yeah. Oh, big time. Mm-hmm.
Man on Fire, Denzel Washington.
Yep. Beautiful. You got a couple of Kurt Russells, you got a couple of Sean Connerys, you got a couple of Denzels, you got them all mixed together.
Last for the obvious ones, we got Blade Runner, of course. And then here's some more shot in the dark ones, but I think they hold up. So we've got Godzilla, the original 1954 one. We've got On the Beach. Are you familiar with that?
On the Beach? No, what is that?
On the Beach is a 1960s British sci-fi dystopia post-apocalypse movie about a series of survivors from a nuclear attack that wake up on a beach and each kind of try and discern where they are, what's going on, while philosophizing about the state of, the Cold War and the nuclear threat, basically. If you see it, it's all in there. It's all in Metal Gear. And a lot of his other stuff. Obviously, Death Stranding, On the Beach, big connection there.
Oh, sure.
Check that one out.
Right away.
Escape from L.A. I'm gonna throw that one in there.
Escape from L.A., the surfing one.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Sure.
I honestly think that maybe Kojima likes that one more than Escape from New York. With the amount of like poop jokes and goofy slapstick stuff that he puts in his games, it's gotta be that one that he likes. What else did I put in here? The Naked Gun.
Naked Gun. Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Obviously referenced in Metal Gear Solid 4.
Still trying to figure that one out. The character Drebin sells naked guns.
Yeah.
I want to say that maybe he's a big Leslie Nielsen fan, but I think more accurately, he just likes slapstick. Well, okay, do you think that he got the name Naked Snake in Snake Eater? Do you think he took that from Naked Gun? It's got to be, right? That's where he got the idea.
So. Invoking the word naked seems like a little bit of a stretch, but then again, it's like in the Japanese release, was the word naked in English?
Yes, it was. Yeah, no, it was.
Yes, that it was definitely that.
His name is always English in the Japanese dub. Naked is snake.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I put Alien on here. I feel like there's some like some Giger influence throughout his stuff a little bit in places.
Really?
Yeah, I think
biomechanics,
the cybersexual aesthetic that he likes to throw in, you know.
I would attribute that more to like a Cronenbergian sense.
Yeah.
I think the marriage of flesh and machine fits more into that style, you know?
Well, okay, here's my next entry on the list.
Oh, okay. All right.
Tetsu the Iron Man.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a big one. You see, like you were saying, you see the biomechanical stuff, the light body horror stuff pop up all over the Metal Gear and Death Stranding series. It's a series now, there's 2 Death Stranding games. I can call them series.
2 Strandings, Strand type games.
It's a budding genre, but it's grown like crazy. It's doubled its output.
It's rising exponentially.
Okay, here we go. Le Samurai, the 1960s French film.
Sure.
Specifically, there is an extended sequence in Metal Gear Solid 4 where you're tailing someone through the streets of a cathedral-esque European city, Eastern European city, following him around in a trench coat, smoking a cigarette. Very noir section.
Yes, and R.I.P. Alain Delon while we're at it.
You know that guy had like 70 dogs?
He was a freak. I mean, he was a real freak. The dude was not a good guy.
Yeah, weird dude.
Yeah, real weird dude. But man, Le Samurai, the Red Circle, a couple others, he's just absolutely fucking iconic.
Now, keeping with the French New Wave sci-fi, Godard's Alphaville, I think, is probably close to the top of his favorite movies list.
Sure. Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then finally, I'm going to end this list with Jean Cocteau's Beauty and the Beast from the 1920s.
La Belle et la Bête.
Yes.
Love that one. That one has all the hands. Do you remember that?
Yeah, hands coming out of the castle walls.
They reproduced that scene in the labyrinth.
Yes, yeah, it's a famous visual effects scene.
Very cool.
It's been talked about much in film history circles. Oh, I forgot to mention The Spy Who Loved Me. That's on here as well.
Oh, sure.
Probably the Kurt Russell movie Soldier should be on here as well. Yeah, I was thinking about that one. That's technically a Blade Runner spinoff, if you didn't know.
Sure.
So yeah, I don't know. That's my list. Is there anything that I'm glaringly missing here?
I mean, definitely. Oh, did you want me to say them?
Well, no, I'm not trying to make a list of every movie he's ever referenced. These are the ones that I think are uniquely core to his creative output. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I see where you're coming from. I would say, there are some in there that I think he would include and you would leave off, I think. Because they're not quite as obvious. The way I think about it is like, he's a schlock genre guy with, as we all do, pretensions. So he likes stuff like Seven.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a Fincher guy, but he thinks that like Seven is really smart and cool when it's really dumb.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no, I think that movie's dumb too. Totally, yeah.
What's in the Box is great. It's still great. It's very funny to me.
That is a great way to end a movie. First of all,
I love it.
Gwyneth Paltrow's head in a box. That is a great punchline.
Great punchline.
And I think that people get caught up on the whole like, the villain wins, which is something that you don't often see in a big release, Hollywood movie, right?
Well, they was riffing on Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
In that regard.
Again, that one is kind of different. Hannibal Lecter, the late great Hannibal Lecter, mind you.
R.I.P.
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 He is a villain, but he's not the villain of the story in that movie, right? His villainy happens unrelated to the main plot of the film
until the end. Well, the back.
Well,
the back
until his escape attempt, which his villainy crosses over.
Attempt.
But again, he's not the killer they're tracking. He's not the killer they're tracking.
No, he is not. He is not. But he does end up on a flight, and he's popping Tupperware full of brains. Which, hey, remember in the 90s when you could just bring stuff onto the plane?
It was a simpler time.
Like a Tupperware full of brains. Yeah. A different time.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I almost forgot what tomorrow was. Now I'll never forget.
You did forget, but now you won't.
Yeah, no. I did forget once, but now I'll never be not forgetting again.
See, I would say as far as like missing pieces there, it is mostly genre schlock that you kind of glazed over. I would say like... the kind of stuff that you maybe scratch your head at when you realize Kojima's hugely influenced by stuff like, I don't know, Star Wars Episode 1, perhaps.
You think that he was a big fan of The Phantom Menace?
I know he was, because he has said it in public.
Actually, you know what? I was just thinking that, like, in Metal Gear Solid 4, Johnny Sasaki, the foxhound soldier famous for pooping his pants all the time.
I hate Johnny.
He's basically the game's Jar Jar, right?
Yes,
it's like,
he totally is.
What if Jar Jar was like constantly pissing and shitting himself?
Like some dumb American idiot.
Man, I love Johnny.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. Obviously, Nicholas Winding Refn movies, Del Toro movies.
Well, I think that we can assume any director that was in Death Stranding probably had some influence on him at one point or another, right?
Oh, yeah. But
that
the
and Conan
less
O'Brien.
obvious ones would be stuff like maybe your mind wouldn't immediately go to, like, let's say, Jim Carrey in The Mask, perhaps.
Okay. I can see it.
Let's say Luc Besson's Lucy, perhaps. You ever see that one?
That one is a bit more of a... I did not see that. That was Luc Besson? Really? Oh,
yeah,
that makes me sad. I mean, I guess it doesn't because that guy also sucks. He's a weird dude.
He is a fucking weird dude.
But
man.
I guess I did like The Fifth Element is what I'm saying. I liked The Fifth Element.
I love The Fifth Element.
That's a great movie. Actually, The Fifth Element should be on this list.
It absolutely should. It fits perfectly.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Die Hard. Obviously, Die Hard. I can't believe I left Die Hard off here.
Yes, Die Hard should definitely be in there.
Actually,
stuff
you know
like,
what? I think not Die Hard 1. I think I'm going to put Die Hard 3 with a Vengeance on here. The one with Samuel L. Jackson.
Sure. Obviously, I think what's missing here is stuff like Phenomena, Dario Argento. Lots of Dario Argento. I would say you could add pretty much anyone, but I think Phenomena is the one.
Argento, definitely some Mario Bava in there as well.
Yes, because he is a genre. That's what I'm trying to drive. He's a genre
guy. His giallo stuff, his 80s schlock action movie stuff, Terminator, all that.
John Carpenter in particular, like not just the escape movies, but Assault on Precinct 13. even Halloween gets in there a little bit with the faceless murderers.
A little bit. I was trying to connect him more to John Carpenter outside of Escape from New York.
Obviously, I think The Thing is a big influence.
Yeah, I think that if Hideo Kojima could have Ennio Morricone score a game for him from Beyond the Grave, he absolutely would.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, big influence on him.
See, I don't know. I don't know about that.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, it's absolutely true. Roland Emmerich's...
he did love Logan, though. He absolutely adored Logan.
Yeah, he probably loved the shit out of Logan. And I bet he liked Deadpool, too.
I wonder. His sense of comedy is very strange. I don't know if he's funny. I don't know if he has, funniness in him.
You don't think that he has humor in his soul?
I mean, he obviously, like I said, he likes the Naked Gun, but that's because Naked Gun is, the most objectively, universally funny movie, much like Airplane. It's just, crystal clear gags all the way down.
Well, maybe the humor just needs to be spelled out super clear for him to get it. There's a second language barrier.
Yeah, and Deadpool also isn't funny, so...
And Ryan Reynolds isn't funny, so...
Ryan Reynolds is not funny either, so...
Yeah, speaking of, this is a bit of an aside here, but the Ryan Reynolds vehicle, Free Guy. You familiar with that one? Came out a little while ago.
Yes, where he's literally an NPC.
Yeah. Now, I did not understand the title of that movie because apparently in some circles, some people that I don't associate with, in a video game, when you die and come back, they call that losing a guy. And then when you get a 1-up to your life count in a video game, they call that getting a free guy.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not making that up. That's where the title comes from. And that baffled me because it's wrong. It's wrong on so many levels.
That's
called
not a real
getting
thing.
An extra life.
That is an extra life. That is a 1-up.
It is literally a 1-up. It is an extra life. It is not a free guy.
Now, if you said it was a free quarter, as if you're harkening back to arcade days, I would find it slightly more believable.
Well, I think it is supposed to be evoking that image of, people sitting around an arcade cabinet and someone puts their quarter down and you're waiting. And then, instead of passing to the next person when you die, you got an extra life. You got 1-up. You got 1 extra life to your life count. Some people may call that getting a free guy.
I'm not sure I buy that. That sounds insane to me, but also he is an NPC in a GTA clone. So you don't even have guys.
He's not even the player character. So even if that's true, and some people did say that it doesn't make sense because he's not the player character. He's not the one getting extra lives. You see where I'm coming from here, right?
This is, it makes me so fucking mad. This is really... I think we need to cool off. I think we need to take a moment and cool down from this realization that I'm going to rewatch Buried because I really like watching Ryan Reynolds suffer. I think that's what I'm going to do in the break. I'm going to rewatch Buried and I'm going to root against Ryan Reynolds getting out of the coffin.
Okay, can we take a break?
Please let him die.
Yeah, let's let this segment die. Let's bury it like Ryan Reynolds.
Nate, it occurs to me that we didn't really talk about a lot of anime this episode.
Oh, thank God. Wait, you want to actually talk about some anime? I tried so hard to avoid it. I was trying so hard.
You know, I figure after spending 40 minutes just saying the names of movies, not even talking about them, just saying the names of them. I figure we should give the people a little bit of anime. Not a lot. I'm talking about maybe like a teaspoon.
Okay. All right. Fine.
But like a rapid series of teaspoons.
Okay. A series of shots of anime, concentrated anime.
Yeah. Line them up. Put them down.
Can I light them on fire?
I mean, sure, you know, I'm not really a fan of like the fancy bar trick shit. I feel like, hey, just give me my drink. I've already been sitting here watching you make it for like 15 minutes. Can I just have my fucking drink?
All right. You want to throw down some anime machine gun style.
Well, it occurs to me not only that we haven't talked about any anime on this episode, but I never really get a chance to like talk about what's in the old poll box. Because I've got a lot. As I've mentioned, I am actively reading quite a few different running series, and I know you're not.
No, I like to keep a lean collection in my inbox, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. As a on the go career minded millennial, I don't have a lot of time other than for stuff that is of the purest top quality. Obviously, that gets curated and sifted down into just a handful of titles that I keep up with that meet my high standards. Unlike, you know, someone like you who has more of a fire hose of
ranch.
Yeah. A fire hose of ranch type type approach to reading.
Yeah, just drown me in it. That's how I think about it for sure. And I figured, you know, because of that, you're probably missing out on some stuff that you might actually really like. So I thought we, you know, since we haven't talked about anime and I haven't talked about some of the stuff I'm reading, this would be a great time to kind of just shoot some at you and see if they stick. But what I want to do is...
Yeah, tell me what you want to do.
What I want to do is I'm just going to give you just a very quick overview. And you tell me if this sounds appealing or not.
Okay.
All right. This is my poll box. I'm going to try to skip over the ones that don't make much sense, but let's get into it.
Okay.
Based on newness alone, that's how I'm going to run. New to old.
Okay.
The first thing I have been reading recently, which has been actively running, now it seems like 11 chapters, somewhere around there, is called Goze Hotaru. Goze Hotaru. What do you think about a blind girl learning how to play sick-ass 14th century rock and roll music in a touring blind group band?
Okay, that's dope. Keep it.
It's fucking dope.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Love that one.
I mean, you know I'm a fan of girl bands.
I think you'd be into it. Next one, check this shit out. You know I'm up on my man's Nihei Tsutomu every fucking day. I am showing up. His new series hasn't been running very long. It is called Tower Dungeon. This is a radical departure from what you'd usually expect from the guy who did Blame. This shit rules. It's awesome. It looks great. And it's funny. Whoa. Crazy. You should check it out.
What's the pitch, though? What's it about?
It's about a guy climbing a fantasy tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if it has Blame credentials, keep it.
Next one is called Nezumi no Hatsukoi. I think it's Nezumi's first love. I'm not really sure. This one, it's about a hit girl who falls in love with a normal boy. And unfortunately, the normal boy has to become a hit boy. Or she has to kill him.
No.
Kind of fun.
Nope. Drop it. Teen assassins are boring and hackneyed.
Don't like teen assassins?
Nope.
It doesn't really have anywhere to go, I will admit. Next one. It's called Nengara Nenbyaku Ansatsu Renka. Or All Year Round Assassination Love Song. Maybe.
All right.
This one is about two ninja who, after a botched job, are essentially kicked out of their clan and must survive on their own now.
Is it a comedy?
No.
Oh, that could go either way. Tentative maybe, I guess.
Yeah, I find it cute.
If it was like a slapstick comedy, like you know, or maybe if it went like genre, like From Dusk Till Dawn, they're two down on their luck ninjas. They get caught up in like a vampire bar. Then absolutely keep it. So if they introduce vampires, then then yes, it's a keeper.
Have you seen Abigail?
I have not.
Next one is called Maho no Kaigashu.
Magic something.
I believe it's mysterious paintings in English. This is about a strange sort of medieval fantasy world where a little girl inexplicably develops the magic power to draw magic paintings. Now, she seems to be the only person in the entire world who can do magic.
That's dope.
Unfortunately for her, she's just a little orphan girl, so she does get essentially enslaved by a rich dude and forced to develop like 100 magic paintings before she eventually dies. But her last act is to release her imaginary friend, now turned real through the use of her magic, to destroy the remaining paintings. He takes a really long time, so essentially we cut to, the story starts like 100 years later after he's been at it for a while.
Okay.
He himself is a weird magical creature hunting other magical creature paintings.
I too have often dreamt about my OC coming to life and smiting my enemies.
Yeah, right?
So yeah, keep that one. That sounds cool.
It's pretty sick. Mm-hmm. What else am I reading? I am reading Centuria, the much talked about Centuria. This is one I have mentioned before. This is by one of Fujimoto's assistants.
Uh-huh.
It's about a sort of like a kind of medieval, but more like Viking-y, Saxony kind of feel to it, the world, where a slave who is about to be killed on a slave boat during a slave uprising is the last survivor, and like, I guess an ocean spirit gives him the life energy of all the people who died, all the other slaves, so that he can save the life of his friend's baby.
Nah, fuck that baby. Drop it.
No, the baby's cute. It's a cute baby.
No. I don't like babies.
All right. The next one is called Dear Anemone. This is also a Fujimoto assistant. This one is essentially Hell's Paradise. Yeah, it's Hell's Paradise.
I mean, Hell's Paradise was cool, so yeah, why not?
Fucking rules.
Yeah, rules.
All right. The next one is Quality Assurance in Another World, but we've talked about that. The next one is called What Do You Wish For with Muddy Eyes? Record of Hyzerk War.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Losing points on the title. What's it about?
Not a great title. This is about... Now, this is what got me. This is about what if an isekai happened, but you were just a guy. You just had to join the army because your family was poor, and you're just a piece of shit infantryman.
That sounds a lot like Now and Then, Here and There, which was like depressing and not fun to watch. So I don't know. That's my recommendation. If you like being sad about that kind of stuff, then I guess keep it.
Yeah. It's a bit of a drag. I don't know. Okay, the next one is called Ogami Tsumiki to Kinichiju. This is the boy who has the crush on the wolf girl in the Monster Girl high school.
Oh, well, yeah, keep that. Yeah, we're keeping that
much
one.
Much talked about.
We're keeping that one.
Oh, yeah. Chaos Game, but that has been canceled. We're skipping that. Magi Lumiere Co., which got an anime announcement like we talked about, so skipping that. Here's one. It's called Isho Senkin. English, Star Strike It Rich by Sandrovich. This is, of course, Girl Baki.
Girl Baki. Yeah, keep that. Need more Girl Bakis.
Gotta do it. Gotta do Girl Baki. The next one is the much talked about Kagurabachi by Takeru Hokezono. It's modern day shonen with magic swords.
Oh, right. Kagurabachi is all the rage right now.
Yes.
Mark my words. That's going to be the next big blow up anime. I don't know who's going to get it, but it's going to be big.
That is what people are saying.
Yeah.
The next one is called Hotaru no Yomeiri, Wedding of the Fireflies, I think. Firefly marriage? Firefly wedding? I don't know. This is about a sickly girl who her family is sick of taking care of her, so they sell her out to assassins or something. I'm not sure why they didn't just kill her, but she ends up on an assassin island, and they're going to kill her. But right before she dies, she promises to marry her executioner, and so he saves her life.
Right, you've talked about this before.
Yes.
Yeah, keep that one. I read a couple chapters. I like the premise. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Mm-hmm. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
That one's canceled. That one's canceled. That one's canceled. Futari Switch. This is
still going.
This is still going. It's a gender swap comedy. It kicks ass.
Now drop that one. Read Hope You're Happy Lemon instead.
Yeah, but that one's not as funny.
No, it is funny. It is very funny.
Yeah, this one's funnier. Trust me. Next one. Tiger won't eat dragon yet. This is about a dragon and a tiger who, after having a sort of carnivore relationship, slowly grow close to each other.
Get rid of it. I don't like either.
Damn. Okay. This next one is After God. This is a story of modern Japan, but what if gods showed up? And that was really bad.
Yeah. Keep it. Gods suck. And they should be kind of like boss fights in a Devil May Cry game.
Yeah. These gods are messed up, man. Like, if you look at them, you turn into water.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm getting wet just thinking about it.
The next one is Sentai Daishikaku. We already know about that one.
I love it.
Loser Ranger. Next one is, of course, Part 9 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We know about that one.
No recommendation needed.
No recommendation needed. Next one is Natsume Arata no Kekkon. Natsume Arata getting married. This is by the guy who created Yureto. It is about a guy who is doing a sort of Hannibal Lecter thing with a woman who is supposedly a serial killer. But in the pursuit of wringing confessions out of her, he may or may not have accidentally fallen in love with her. It's really weird. I kind of love it. She does a Leon the Professional cosplay to go to court in one of the last episodes.
Okay, well, I as we've established, I love a good movie reference. Keep that one.
Gotta. And it's not just incidental, it is plot relevant. The next one is Die Dark by Q Hayashida, the absolute fucking legend.
Absolutely. There's no question. You have to keep everything from Q in there.
Yes, of course. Q Hayashida killing it every single fucking day. The next one is Versus by supposedly by one.
Drop it. I already dropped that one. You should drop it too.
Yeah, seems like it wasn't really going anywhere.
Not well thought out.
Yeah, I don't know. It could use a plot at some point. The next one is Meruko-chan, about the girl who pretends she can't see ghosts.
But she can.
But she pretends she's not going to do.
Yeah, sure. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Keep it.
It's cute. The next one is called Kiruru Kill Me by Kano Yasuhiro, the guy who did Kiss Death. It's about a guy who falls in love with a girl assassin, so he hires her to kill him. But he's very good at surviving, so he accidentally survives every time.
That's a very Kevin Smith premise. I don't know. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to anybody but me?
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about that
That's
one.
like Chasing Amy, but with assassins.
I guess so.
maybe if the
it.
assassin was also a lesbian.
The next one is, of course, Yomi no Tsugai, Demons of the Shadow Realm by Arakawa Hiromu, the Full Metal Alchemist chick.
You don't need to say that. It's almost it feels denigrating to say it like that.
Well, I don't know. No, not everybody knows that. She's got a new series out, so I don't know.
I've heard that her new series is relatively popular. Yeah, I don't know. I want to check it out. Yeah, keep it.
It's fun. It's got Alchemist vibes to it. There's a brother and a sister.
Sure.
And they've had a bad time.
Well, don't they all?
The next one is Dead Mount Death Play.
Well, that one's on the rise.
That's the reverse Necromancer. It had an anime. Made 2 seasons.
Actually, I'm gonna blanket say anything on here that has a current anime adaptation, just drop it. Just get rid of it. You can,
just get rid of it.
You can watch it when it comes out.
Fair enough. The next one is called Goku Rakugai. this one has been slowly blowing up because chapters only come out like once every 6 months.
Oh, doing the Berserk marketing strategy.
Yeah, sort of. This is about a boy who is potentially half, and this is a unfortunate coincidence, but he is half MAGA. As they call monsters in the comic, they call them MAGAs.
He's a little bit country and a little bit of rock and roll.
Yes. And him and his partner hunt other MAGAs in a sort of Chinese fusion future-y world.
I don't know. Monster fighting stuff. I don't know. Not my thing. Get rid of it.
All right, last one is, of course...
Oh, thank God.
Fool Knight by Yasuda Kasumi.
Oh.
About the world after the sun goes out.
Absolutely. I have been following Fool Knight as well. I think we talked about it a while back. I think that is one to keep an eye on, both the fact that the art is like kind of really fucking cool and good and like fun to look at. But also I just like the idea of plants using human hosts as growth
Fertilizer.
You know, this idea that they're recycling human bodies in the future by letting plants take them over.
Yeah.
Because that is the only way that they can, get oxygen and food and other essential stuff for life.
Yeah. It's sick as hell.
It's really cool.
That is one that will come up when we are eventually talking about like the best modern manga.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's going to be in the mix.
Okay. Oh my God.
That is a brief introduction to my pull box. I hope that was informative and maybe kicked off a couple new lifelong loves.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go look up that Monster High School manga. That's what I'm going to do.
Hey, that one's pretty popular.
Whoa.
And had a lot of cuck controversy.
Oh.
5 or 6 issues back or something. Something like that.
Well, you know I love a good controversy.
Yeah. Vampire Boy, you got to watch out for him. They'll cuck you.
Oh, they'll cuck you.
They'll cuck you. Vampire Boy, he'll cuck you.
Okay, pleasant and beautiful and aromatic listeners. Thank you once again for sticking around through that, whatever it was. I think we talked about...
That was manga. That was actually relevant.
That was manga.
Relevant
that
to
was
the
manga.
plot of the show. That was not whatever that is.
I had an anime to talk about, but let's be honest, it wasn't worth your time. Maybe we'll talk about the Train Gundams next episode.
Okay, we'll do it next week.
Yeah.
Now remember, folks, don't get cucked by a vampire boy.
I got nothing. It already happened to me.
He's already been cucked. This is from experience. Don't be like Nate. Don't get cucked by a vampire boy.
I'm a cautionary tale. Okay, check us out on TikTok, Blue Sky, all the stuff. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Come on. Do it.
Just do it.
We know you're listening, Tyler and Cassidy and Yule.
Yeah.
These are all names of real people that I know listen to the show, and I'm calling you out right now. And if you don't want to be called out on a future episode, go give us the likes.
Damn, the bro went nuclear on the fans.
Yeah, no, I'm going nuclear.
Holy shit. That's crazy, man. Calm down.
No, I'm not going to calm down.
Calm down, man.
I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore.
No, you got to chill.
See that? That was a movie reference. You ever see Network? You ever see that movie, Network?
Oh, should we say more movie titles before we go?
Yeah, Network, Saving Private Ryan.
Independence Day.
Yeah, Independence Day, 1 and 2.
Sure. Airplane.
Oh, absolutely.
Did we say Beetlejuice earlier?
Beetlejuice.
Mad Max.
Big influence on Kojima.
Yeah, Twister.
Tim Burton in general.
Transformers.
The Michael Bay Transformers.
The Dark Knight.
Strangely, I don't think he liked The Dark Knight.
You don't think you like that one? The Matrix. Back to the Future.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Superman. There was a Superman movie.
Yeah, Cyborg.
Terminator. Time Cop.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Oh God.
Okay, bye. So dumb.
Love can bloom on the battlefield. I think we've definitively answered that question.